What's happening, everybody? This is Jerid from Echo Blades, and you're tuned in to the Triple T podcast for knife makers. As always, I have my co-host, the Smash YouTube sensation, Dennis Tyrell from Tyrell Knifeworks, coming at you live.
You'll only need the edge of the sea. You sound like the announcer at Monster Jam.
In a world where podcasts are lame, here comes Triple T to save the day. That's Tools, Tips, and Talk. That's probably one of my favorite things to do is do that intro. That's Tools, Tips, and Talk. Intro? Yeah, it's the best. Where we discuss info for the knife maker. In this episode, we're going to be talking about blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah.
An extra blah, blah.
Yeah. What's up, buddy? How are you?
You know, I've had some ups and downs this week. I've had to purchase a new TV this week, which I was not pleased about. That was an expensive fucking TVs. Like, I'm gonna sound old, but this used to be like, you know, you could look at like 4 different computers and they all look the names of them are identical and they vary by like thousands of dollars. That's what I feel like TVs are. If you don't look up and research what every fucking little acronym means, they vary from $3,000 to $300 and they all sound the same. It was very frustrating. It took me 2 hours to figure out what TV I wanted to buy.
What did you get?
Fuck, I don't know. Like some LG OLED 4K 65-inch TV. But there's like Samsung alone has like 65 different variations on that same size of TV. Mm-hmm. It's so confusing.
I made a mistake. When we got the house, that was like a big thing for me was I wanted to finally get a big screen TV. I don't like a status thing, like, you know, hey, I've arrived. I'm a real adult. I'm a real boy, you know, like, and I ended up getting like the entry level into the high end TVs. Mm-hmm. And I will never do that again. It was a complete waste. Like, I remember standing in front of the at the wall of TVs at Best Buy, and I looked at my kids and I'm like, do you guys notice $1,000 difference between these? Just like, you know, because they blast the full 4K, the best the TV can produce. You're never gonna see that, you know, like your internet's or your cable or whatever you're streaming is gonna come in at like 720 or something stupid, you know. And yeah, but I still went with it like a dumbass. So I believe you could have spent about $800 to $1,000 and probably got a really good TV.
See, I was debating between $1,000 and like $1,400 because anything below like $900, it's like crappy overseas brand that you know is going to break in a year.
Insignia,
like right? The Insignia ones. I have those in the RV. Yeah. I actually went on, because I have a YouTube business account. I went on the YouTube business account, and this LG TV, because I looked at it without a business account, and it was like $1,000 off. So I ended up getting like a $2,300 TV for like $1,300. So that's what I ended up going with.
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, I mean, it's not a good day, but.
No. And it was, I'm just sitting there watching TV, and all of a sudden the TV goes black, and I'm like, is this just a really slow scene? Like, yeah, at least just out of nowhere. I was really pissed off, and yeah, it was not a good day. Yeah, and it was Sunday, and my wife wanted to watch football, so she had to watch it in the bedroom. Oh. She didn't like that.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Well, you probably got all the bells and whistles and all the cool shit that you don't know how to use. So that's cool.
Well, our TV was so old, we didn't have like Disney Plus and all those. Like, we had YouTube and Prime and Netflix, but not Disney Plus. Okay. And we have a Disney Plus account, but I have to like watch it on my phone or plug my phone in the TV, and it's like a big thing. It was pissing me off. So Now the new one will have all that. So
Now you're hip, slick, and cool, dude. Look at you.
I know, right?
Look at that YouTube doing it for you. I love this.
Okay. Since we're talking about TVs, you use Comcast for your TV?
Yes.
Okay, because we have Direct TV, which I've always been a big fan of Direct TV. I've always liked the interface. Never had a problem with it, but it's expensive. And friend of mine, actually, we're going to talk about Dan later on, but he's got YouTube TV, and he was
Mhm.
telling me about it, and I'm like, oh, maybe I'll actually switch to YouTube TV. But then it's like, what about all the shows I watch? What about HBO? What about? I'm sure you can probably get all that stuff on.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, it's a totally different interface. Like he was, yeah. I'm a little hesitant. I'd have to try it for a bit and see if I like it first, I guess.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that have gone away from cable and just did the streaming networks, and it's substantially cheaper, but like you lose live TV, local TV. Sometimes that's a challenge. But they say they've got it figured out. My wife just is really about her Comcast DVR and all her shows, and like she's not interested in switching. So I'll just keep supporting them. So buy Comcast stock, folks. They're
Uh,
shitty internet. I pay for like 1,200 megabytes of internet, and I get like 20% of that right now. So I'm not happy with them.
yeah, I boycotted Comcast a long time ago, so I don't have
Or
anything Comcast.
Xfinity, whatever it is now. It's the
Same
best.
thing.
Yeah.
Same shit, different smell.
Yeah, I smell what you're stepping in. I get it. Right on. Well, the appliance hour is over. That's cool.
Yeah, so that was the start of my week yesterday. Figuring out the TV didn't work, so that was uh, pissy, but it got better. Someone I know came over and we forged a Cumai.
That's right. I'm fired up for that.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty interested to see what that's going to look like.
Yeah, me too.
Mr. Jerid did his first attempt at a Cumai,
Which
and
is weird because like I'm buddies with like Mr. Kumai, and it had dawned on me like I think it was a couple weeks ago. We were talking about it. I'm like, I've never done. I want to do one. I want to do one. And
I was the
then
one that suggested it. I'm like, why don't you do a Cumai? And you're like, I
yeah,
don't know.
I
And at
don't know.
first, you sound like you poo pooed it.
Well, well, I kind of touche. I don't have a rebuttal to that. I just, I think how do you say this? A lot of people do it, right? So I think enough people will do it, and people probably do it better. So I was in no rush to get to it. I knew I would, but very challenging experience. I must say that it's not like it's. I mean, like I said, I always say it's a huge plus having you in the corner, even though you make me do everything, which is lame.
You just hand it to you on a platter.
Yeah, why not? um, but a lot more stress. You hear all the horror stories of people, splooging copper all over everything, and checking the temperatures and constantly or not. So I have an attention issue, right? So easily get distracted, and you know, I think you were saying like every time I failed on a kumai, I've not been paying attention for a fractional period of time, like very small, 30 seconds or something. I walk away and I just didn't get back to it in time, and
Yeah.
and then it's done.
Yeah. I mean, and for everyone else, this is the very first time, and I was guinea pigging Jerid here. We did a Kumai with only tacking the corners.
Yep.
We did not weld up the sides. Just tacked the corners and did the whole thing that way. And I kind of liked it because you could see the copper. If the copper's melting.
Oh yeah, that's what you're saying. So for me, every time we go through this stuff, like you got Dennis talking to me, telling me what should I look for and what to pay attention to and all that stuff. But when you have no reference to to what you're familiar with, Sometimes it's a little difficult. So I do say, am I seeing this right? And I wasn't quite picking up what you were putting down until you kind of were just discussing what you were discussing right now. You're like, oh, you could see the ribs of the copper on the ends of the billet, and only because we didn't completely seal it up,
Yeah.
which was
And
cool.
and I had my thermocouple's been going in my forge. Like I
Yeah.
knew it was off by because um I had screwed up a billet because it got too hot. But even though I had
PID.
the PID set at 1800 degrees, so that's like 180 degree like fail safe, right? Because it's 1984 where copper melts.
Oh, okay.
Um, and then I melted it out, so I knew my thermocouple was going, and so
Sorry,
during this.
Peter. Sorry, Peter. I misspoke, buddy. I told my buddy that it was 1800. I tried to set him up. I was like, "So what's the difference? What's the melting point of copper?" And I was pretty sure it was 1800. And
Yeah.
then I told him, oh. And then I said, what does steel melt at? And he was real quick, 2200. And I was like, no, 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 that's forge weld. I don't know how hot
It's
steel
about
has.
2450, 2500.
Oh, so not that much more. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, relatively speaking. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to
Yeah.
cut you off, but my
No,
bad,
no,
Peter.
but where was I? Yeah, so it was good to so the thermocouple was going, so we had to do everything by eye. So Jerid was doing it. I took him through the first few heats, but then he got to do it by eye while I was changing the thermocouple, which was done by the time we finished. Like I think I put it in and we figured it out at the very end.
It really
Um,
was.
yeah.
It was challenge every time we do something, I get to do something, there's always something fucked up going on, right? You're the thermocouple breaks, right? Which is we're taking advantage of the tools at our disposal. And the thermocouple's going out, so we have no PID or we can't trust it, right? And then you run out of propane in the middle of it. Yeah, and we gotta switch out the bottles, and yeah, it's always an
Yeah.
event.
Yeah, but that was after it was already welded, brazed, whatever you want to call it, together. So we were just drawing it out at that point, so it didn't really matter. But but yeah, you got to see what it was like to do it by eye. And the big thing is leave the forge door open and stare at the billet and turn it every minute, every 60 seconds. Um, and I think that's the key to a good Cumai is just to get a balanced heat, don't overheat it, and by turning it, you're just, you'll obviously you can't have your forge running at 2,000 degrees, but yeah, but you did well.
Yeah,
I mean,
towards the in the beginning, I was clueless, right? You had made a reference to, like a color on the side of the forge that it should be, you know, but there's, like a rainbow of colors on the side. So I wasn't trying to be a dick at that moment, but I was like, bro, that doesn't help me. Like right there on the side of the forge, it's super glowing orange all the way down to a kind of a hot red, but I think the moment that it kind of all came together for me was the first heat. We thought we had it hot enough, and we had the long dies in, and when we tried to uh, set the first forge weld, I didn't quite get the billet buried in. So the front half where the handle was, you kind of spotted it. You're like, I don't think that one kind of stuck, and I was like, oh shit. So we were a little bit of concern, and then when we put it back in, this was key for me, anyways. I could visually see the parts of the billet that were welded,
yeah,
all you know, getting the same color throughout, and then there was that one little spot on the front of the billet that was
yeah, the cladding was
completely.
definitely a different color than the center,
It was
right
getting
at that part.
hot
Yeah,
as shit really quick, a
yeah,
little far hotter than the rest of the billet, and so for me that was a like a big aha moment, like. So we switched the dies and got that part nice and hot, but it all stuck together, and
Yeah, came out
it
good.
was cool. Yeah, it was.
You haven't ground the edges on that thing yet?
No, I haven't done anything. I just been staring at it.
Yeah.
But it's really, 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 really cool. But I do like the fact that you can only see those 3 spots, end, middle, and where all the welds are. So
Yeah, I mean, I will be doing it this way from now on, because it's a pain. It is one of those things I dread. It's like when I'm doing them mosaic, and I have to like grind the sacrificial steel off. Like I hate that step. And I hate the step when I have to grind the edges of a Cumai to get into the billet before I profile anything. So just not having to do that step is a big bonus.
yeah, I could see that. Although I've never done it any other way, but
Yeah, but
I thought you were setting me up. I know you were. You're like, Coy doesn't do it. I was like, well, I can't. That was kind of the thing. Like, okay, all right, if Coy's not doing it that way. I did a reel about it today, which is like the first reel I've done in a long time, dude. Apparently, I've been taking a break. I didn't realize I was taking, as far as content making. And
yeah, come on, get off your ass. Put some stuff on social media.
Yeah, I can't. Somebody had mentioned that though. Oh, nice to see that you don't have to weld the entire thing up.
Yeah, I
Which
saw it. I haven't read any of the comments on it though.
Yeah,
Actually, I saw it on Facebook. I didn't see it on Instagram.
Oh yeah. I still haven't fixed that.
Yeah,
I think I posted it to the Echo Blades page though.
Yeah,
on Facebook. So, but I did a couple stories here and there, and now it's like I don't mean to. If you do follow, I'll put a story on Echo Blades and then something on the Triple T, and then I go to my personal Facebook and I got the same reel doubled up because they're all linked, everything. So I'm like, my bad.
Yeah, I've been trying to do some more YouTube shorts. I've been putting up a bunch more shorts lately because I put up that one about the Condursal. I put up one on that Cumai Bowie, that Bowie knife. Yeah, I'm trying to just get more content out there. I'm noticing that it's even putting up shorts is causing more people to see my stuff because they're clicking on the what's next or the linked videos. So it's actually helping. So I need to do more of the YouTube shorts, and really like I like the editing on Instagram. So I've been editing on Instagrams because I can put the captions and all that stuff, and then downloading it and putting it on YouTube shorts. So that's kind of my methodology now.
Okay. I don't ever see those, but I don't use YouTube like that. And the rest of my YouTube viewing is so vast that the home screen's always full of weird shit. So I don't really, the shorts I see aren't like really knife related, so I don't catch those. I'll have to check those out though.
But if you don't want to make Cumai, what do?
I would go to Baker Forged in Steel and go check out Koi and the boys.
Baker Forged and Tool, first of all.
Okay, I'm reading Steel. I'm really looking at the word steel. My bad, Koi.
God, worst read ever.
Oh, jeez. Good Lord.
Can't
You know what
even
we just did? We just really, 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 really drove home that it's Baker Forged and I want to say steel so bad. My bad. Anyways, where would you go? Did you go to the same place? I think you should.
Yeah, I mean, if I didn't want to make Cumai, I would definitely go to Baker Forge. They have some of the most amazing patterns. What they got up on the website now, they are dropping some uh, Elite Coppermai Ripple, Tiger May Raindrop, and Chevron Coppermai, and these are all going to be in thin thin billets for chef knives and folders. So definitely go check them out. Those patterns, like the copper my, I think it's the copper my ripple. That one is my favorite pattern. It's like well, oh no, it's the chevron copper my. I'm sorry, it's the chevron copper my that I like. That I think just looks amazing. I mean, they're all amazing, but that's probably my favorite one is the chevron.
Yeah, they're bad. They're so good. I said they're bad, but like badass. I'm really fucking this up right now.
Like
The
Michael
thin
Jackson
stock,
bald.
yeah, exactly. The thin stock drop. Hey, Baker Forges and Tool. They also have gator piss. Do you ever use that stuff?
I do. I use it all the time.
That's right. Complete, ready to go etchant to finish out all that beautiful Cumai
Leaves that 15 and 20 nice and bright.
and gets the core nice and dark too. It's
Mm-hmm.
the best of both worlds, man. I love that stuff. But if you are going to go check them out, make sure that you are utilizing the app that they have. You will get 1 day early access to all of the drops exclusively for app users, and you can use the discount code triple T10 for 10% off your next purchase. So buy a shit ton of it and put in that code, and you'll see a shit ton of discount. That's official, in case you're wondering. Go do it.
Oh. So besides doing Kumai, what else is new in your shop? You get into the shop at all?
Little bit, not much. I did some cleaning.
Cleaning.
That was more than anything. My shit's still a disaster. So, I
Where
did
where
want to say,
where's Jerid Jr.? Isn't that his job?
yeah, he kind of fell off because Dad forgot about it. So that is
I
a
know that
damn good
feeling.
point. That is a damn good son. We're gonna change the way we're doing everything. He's just gonna wait it out because Dad's gonna get busy and mess around.
Yeah. That's what
No,
happens. We forget.
yeah, the weather switched up really nice, and it's kind of come down to like normal temperatures now. And on Saturday, the reason why I didn't get in there Saturday was I had that golf tournament,
Oh yeah.
and it was a good time. That course is really, really, really narrow and
Are the
not for
excuses starting already?
not forgiving. So
Which course was it?
Redwood,
Redwood. Where's that? Yeah, that's the one in Castro Valley. Yeah,
that's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You said you had played there.
Yeah, yeah. It's been a long time. I don't remember, but
Yeah,
I
a lot of
remember
trees,
losing a
really
few
narrow.
balls.
I lost a lot of balls. Yeah. So I entered that with a 30 handicap, and on any given day that could be a really bad sandbag, like major cheating because I can golf good sometimes, but since I've just been kind of getting back into it, it was right on par. So I golfed. I think I shot 114, which netted me a 84. I was nowhere near competing, but with that high ass handicap, I took a 12 on a hole,
A
like a literal
12.
12. Yeah. So I hit my first ball off the tee into the fucking woods. So you drop two, hit three from the tee again. I hit that fucker into the woods again. So drop four, I'm hitting five, and I haven't even got off the tee yet. And it was a par five, so it took me another 7 to get the ball in the hole. And I was pretty pissed, you know. But the
Yeah.
thing about golf is, like, I was talking to somebody about it. And he's like, "Man, I couldn't do it. After 9 holes, I'd be done." I'm like, "Yeah, well, the thing is, like, you hit one good shot, and then you feel like you got it all figured out, and you're back, and it's great again." So the next hole, I ended up just parring. So I hit a decent drive, got up there, and I parred it, which netted me because of the handicap a 2, which is an eagle. And I ended up winning like 7 or 8 skins for like $35, I think, which is about half the round. So I still made some money, and it made it everything worth it. So
Yeah.
all the frustration, and It was good. I got to golf with Jeff. I haven't seen him in a while because some old bastard's been fucking keeping him busy making sand minnows. But yes, I got to hang out and do that, and that took up the day pretty much. And then
Good,
Sunday
good.
was Cumai Day, which I did want to say. I think it was really cool, and I know you've already done it, and I'm not saying you should do it again, but I think the explanation of the the thirds
Mm.
on the billets was, uh, like I said, sometimes you receive more, and sometimes you receive less when you're talking to people, and how much retention kind of comes back in. But I try not to just nod my head when people are saying things that I don't. I mean, I may understand it right there, but I think that's one of the biggest disservices you can do to yourself is to like nod your head yes when you really don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I came in with my little etch and sketch. It was like, we're gonna draw this, and I'm gonna ask the dumb questions, and that's what we did. But it really kind of drove home some stuff. So
Yeah, maybe I
I
should
think,
redo that video. I actually just sent that video to someone who had the same question on Facebook, on a Facebook forum, and then I
yeah,
realized I had to go way back in my videos to find that one.
yeah, it's been a while. I remember it's been a couple years, at
At
least
least a
over
year.
a year,
At least a
over
year.
a
Yeah,
year.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I
but
should
what I
probably
was,
redo that one.
yeah, what I was trying to get at was that when we were setting up the billet, right? I know that I wanted to do a Gomai, and you were explaining, the copper has to, you have to have a copper in between every piece of carbon, right? And in my mind, what I was seeing wasn't what you were explaining. You're like, it's going to come out just like this. The intermediate. No, the intermediate wasn't that. That was just a Kumai one you just
Yeah,
finished,
it
right?
was just the Cumai buoy and the
Yeah,
Karambit. It was the same as the Karambit.
yeah. So in my mind, I was thinking that the copper should have been thinner, and there should have been thicker 15 and 20 in there. So we got to talking, and what I wanted to do, and what I want to do, what I think is going to be, what can be really cool, is to try to get, oh, excuse me, a billet that the copper is super super thin, and we came down to some ridiculous thinness that it would need to be, but to kind of have like the copper like kind of pinstripe, a thicker layer of 15 and 20 in the across the bands. And we got to talking, and old Dennis pulls his fabulous Dennis move, and is like, "Oh yeah, I think that's pretty cool. I think I'm gonna do that. Well, I'm gonna do it with nickel and blah blah." And I'm like, "You bastard!" the Because I think of something, and then the reality is that he's gonna do it, right? I think about a lot of shit. I don't ever really do them, like complete the task or something. I mean, a multitude of excuses and reasons, but I was like, okay, all right, I accept this because there's nothing I can do about it. All I ask is that you just say, "Hey, I stole this from Jerid."
Yeah, I mean it's hard to get thinner because the copper I use is 20 thousandths of an inch thick. It's hard to find copper that's thinner than that. I mean, I guess you can. It's hard to find it in sheet. Like that was the thinnest that I could find in a reasonable size kind of thing. Like you can, because that they use that for roof sheeting, so
Oh,
it's
yeah,
it's
yeah.
cheap, it's easy to get.
Yeah,
Like
that's what comes in that big ass roll, right?
right, that's what's in
Yeah,
the big ass roll, and it's not that expensive. But to get it thinner than that, then you're working with like 12-inch strips, and it's just and then it's a pain in the ass. Um, so to combat that, when you want the pinstripes, you just make your core like 1/4 inch thick or 3/8 thick, and your cladding thicker, and then you draw it down, and then you'll have the copper will end up being the pinstripe because you're going to forge it. You're going to draw it out that much thinner, the whole billet.
yeah. I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be if I'm sure it's been done. It's not like
Yeah, I mean,
before.
it's essentially if you look at a lot of Coy's patterns at Baker Forge, they do a lot of very thin copper, but lots of layers.
Yeah.
because most of their patterns have lots of layers of copper.
Yeah.
And I've never asked him what the kind of the starting steel layer thickness. That'd be a good. If we ever have him on again, I'm going to grill him on that.
Or let us know. Send us a private message, and we will
Yeah,
not
tell us
share it
all
with
your secrets,
anybody.
Coy.
Yeah, we will never share any of this proprietary information with anybody.
Yeah, except in a YouTube video.
Yeah, this is not working in my advantage here, Mister Fucking share everything. No.
Uh,
Well, I think it would be good too without having the Damascus cladding though. It would really you could kind of really highlight that pinstripe if you could pull that off.
man,
Not be all busy with all the.
looks better with the Damascus.
How do you know? Low layer is great. It's all.
Man,
It's all. It's all what you like.
for the Kumais,
Dennis, you can't do that. You cannot do what you just did. Some people like other things than you, Dennis.
I'm saying I was going to correct myself. When I do Kumai, I like it with the Damascus cladding or sometimes a Damascus core. I just think it sets it off more. But I mean, it looks okay with just copper and
It's
high
definitely
carbon.
cool.
Yeah.
I'll show you how it really is done here. Yeah, I don't know. The cool thing, man, I learned a lot. Thank you. It was a good time, a lot of fun. But you're not bullshitting about, and I think you scared the shit out of me too. So I literally stood in front of that fucking forge for way too long. I never walked away. I was a good little boy. I kept turning the thing like, oh man, like it was marshmallows on a freaking
Yeah,
roaster.
it was like Jerid in front of the oven when he was a kid
Yeah,
watching the cookies bake.
it was exactly that. I was just like, I didn't give the bat nothing, man. I was like, man, when we do regular stuff, you can walk around and grind something, and do all kinds of shit while you're waiting around. This, no, 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 no. I was not gonna have that thing
Yeah.
fail on my watch, anyways.
Yeah, the most times where I've had an issue, it's because I've looked at my phone and got immersed in something on my phone and had it fail.
Yeah, I would say there's always a probability of failure, but I wasn't gonna have it fail because I wasn't paying attention.
Right.
I'm totally okay with fucking something up or squishing it too hard or like doing something to mess it up, but it wasn't gonna be because I was looking at my phone. So
Well, good.
down the road, that much for sure. So
Yeah.
it was a good time though. I learned a lot and I'm super happy with it. I used 2-inch stock, so I got
2-inch wide. Yeah.
2-inch wide stock, and so I got a pretty big billet.
Yeah.
I
It's like
think
what, two and an eighth wide, the billet, because we mostly drew with the mill, with the rolling mill. But it's like, what do we say? It was like 16 inches long. It's a lot of
it's
steel.
like overall it's like 18, but I think we got about 16 usable, and it's just over. We'll probably have just over 2 1/8 for width.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's great. That'll be
yeah,
great for some.
I would have made it wider if I wasn't so focused on not messing it up. But if we
Yeah,
do it
we
again,
could have done a couple more presses with the flat dies and drew it
yeah.
out a little, wider before we went to the rolling mill. But
Yeah, I just think with it being just a tad wider, you can maximize the use of the steel.
yeah,
With kind of because then I'll just stock removal something
yeah,
out of it. So
yep.
but yeah, that was cool.
If you have a little piece you don't know what to do with, and it's about the size of a folder, then send it my way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely more conscious now of saving those pieces that are, you can't really make a knife out of, but you can make a folding blade out of. So I'm definitely paying attention to those more.
Yeah, I'll make sure to use every single bit of that billet, buddy. Absolutely 100%. Or I'll send it to somebody. Yeah, which I'm
Cool.
excited. I'm excited, dude. The stuff you're working on. Are you talking about that or is that top secret?
What, the folding knives?
Mm-hmm.
No, definitely. So, been working on a folder. a design of my. I have that Sand Tiger, which is the. What are you pointing at yourself for?
I just you keep saying a folder. Just say, just call it what it is. Yeah,
Oh, you mean the one for you?
Jerid's folder. Anyways, good.
There's so it's like my little recurve Tonto kind of EDC knife. I'm turned that into a folder. So that's I kind of designed it on Knife Print, who is a sponsor of the Apocalyptic Challenge, by the way. So go check them out. They have great prizes for the viewers in the Apocalyptic Challenge. But I designed it in Knife Print, can flip it around and do all kinds of cool stuff with it, which has saved me so much time and effort of not screwing something up. But I'm pretty close. I'm waiting for parts actually, because I screwed up an order and I forgot to order something. So I'm waiting for some washers and I think I have all the other bits. But once I get this one done and I've got the steps in my head, like I know what I'm doing and I've proved out all the steps on my hardware, like my mill and all that stuff. I'm going to do a multi-part series on making a liner lock on Triple T, which I think I've been asked for it so many times. So I think that'll be a really popular series of, how do you make a folder? And I think I'm going to do it so that folks won't need a mill. There's one part that I think you could get away with not doing it on a mill. Mostly 99% of it is going to be drill press. I'm going to use my mill as the drill press, but it doesn't matter. You could use whatever drill press you had. But I'm gonna go through that whole series as if there's only one part, which is doing the crescent slot on the knife that you kind of need a mill for. I mean, I think you could probably get away with putting maybe putting an end mill, just for that operation, putting an end mill in your drill press. I know you're not supposed to, but you could probably get away with it. Like drill a bunch of holes and then just pivot it. You'll see in the series, but I'm going to try to make it so folks can do this without a mill.
Well, that's super cool.
Yeah. So I'm excited about that. I think that's probably going to start in 2 or 3 weeks. I'll start that series and it'll be like, because it's going to be small little installments. Like the first one's going to be the design and doing the design and what's important. What is a liner lock? What are the things you need to look for in the design? It's mostly going to be the design and what you need how you set up your design to be successful. And then also what tools, what you're going to need. And I warn people that you're going to need to buy a lot of drills that you probably don't have, and they're expensive because they're all carbide. So if you're going to get into folders, be prepared that it's going to cost you some money just in the drills and in the tooling. And I'm not talking about a mill. So be prepared on that. But but that knife's going well. I had a little hiccup trying to get the slot for the liner done. I had to go buy a little Dremel piece to use. But that's one thing that, well, I think you could probably do without a mill as well. But anyway, I'll talk about it in the series when I do it.
I think that's going to be really cool.
Yeah.
I can't think of any like tutorial type things for a liner lock that you're going to just randomly come across on YouTube,
The only one I can think of is the one that Ecom Knives did, but it's like
whatever happened to that guy?
Yeah, I think he got out of Knives, but it was like a 15-part series, and it was great. Like he went in depth, but I found it a little hard to follow because there was so many parts, and
Right.
um, yeah, like you had to be dedicated and watch all the parts and stuff. But I mean, it was good stuff. I mean, he did a deep dive. It was great.
Yeah, which is to say, you know what I mean? Like the series won't take the place of
Yeah,
going to take a
and
class like you did, you know what I mean? To
that's right.
100%. Like, is if you have some experience, I'm sure it'll be really good for refreshers and, you know,
Yeah,
get you dialed back in, but there's no substitute for that.
yeah.
Getting
And
it
to
for
be fair,
everybody.
on the Ecom Knives series, I don't think I was at the level to absorb that information when I watched it. Like I watched that before I had a YouTube channel. So that was way back in my knife making career. So I don't think I was at the level to absorb that information. You can just be, things just go over your head sometimes, and that kind of went over my head.
Oh, don't I know? No, don't I know?
Yeah. But yeah, but this past week I did I was working on the dagger, that basket split dagger.
Mm, that's right.
Yeah, did my first hollow grind, which went great. I that was another one I showed on Instagram, just how that looked. I think it went really well. The heat treat went well. There's a tiny little warp near the tip
Yeah,
that,
it's subtle.
yeah, I could probably grind out. I might just give it a few whacks with the straightening hammer, just to see if I can take a little bit of it out. But it's definitely grindable because I left that thing really thick, like it's 1/4 inch thick, um, because I knew I wanted a big medial ridge in that thing. But
No fuller, right?
no fuller, no fuller. I want to show off the hollow coming together in the center of the blade. So
Nice.
I may even leave a little bit of a flat spot in the center. I'm actually debating if I want to, like, laser something in the center, like a little pattern in the center. But it's over top of Damascus, so
Yeah, I
I
was
don't
gonna
know.
say, yeah, you could just re-etch the Damascus.
Yeah, but just
I
like
don't think so.
it, a cool little, like, a line or something subtle. I've never done that before. I know Niels has done this before on blades, and it does look kind of cool, um, on the flat part of a dagger. So, but I don't know. I haven't really thought about it yet. So,
Gotcha.
but I was so excited about how the hollow grind turned out. I had three, those three blanks, or those blanks I brought to Blade Show, the hardened blanks.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do.
So I,
I
I,
do
I
remember.
remembered I still had some of those. So I took three of my silver tip models and ground through all three of them with hollow grinds. And they actually turned out really well. Oh, and by the way, when you saw them, remember the edge was a little thick because I was paying attention more to the hollow, less about the edge. I reground them, and now the flats are stone washed, but I left
I'm interested.
the blade silver.
I'm interested.
So it you probably can't even tell here, but the blade
Yeah,
is shiny.
I can't see the hollow, but I can see the contrast.
Yeah,
That looks cool.
yeah. And now it's like a razor.
So the spine's silver and
Yeah, spine silver. The flats are stone washed, and the bevel is the hollowed bevel is like 400 grit, like satin finish. Whoops. So those will be up on the three of those will be up on the website tomorrow.
good for you for taking it back to the grinder because those bitches were thick.
Yeah,
Those,
they was
well,
yeah
not both of them. Just that one was.
yeah. It was probably 30,000s at the edge.
Yeah,
Um,
it was pretty thick.
yeah, and I wasn't happy with it, so I knew I was gonna mull it over my head and end up going back.
It's
But I like the way
fine.
it turned out, and it was cool. Yeah, when you see them in person, I think you'll like it with the two tone.
Cool.
Yeah. So
I like that.
Yeah, so gotta working on those. So, but between the dagger and the sand tiger, that's kind of what I've knife wise what I've been working on.
Nice. I did do some finish up the handles on the oh my god, the Intrepid 2.0. So I'll probably finish that one out tomorrow. I just got to finish sanding and sharpening. Bob's your uncle. That's the term I never heard before knife making.
You never heard the term Bob's your uncle?
Never.
It's like, the cat's ass and Bob's your uncle.
Yeah, I've never heard it. I think Jeff was the first one to say it. I was like, Bob is not my uncle. So what are you talking about?
I think that's the name of the show. Bob is not my uncle.
Yeah. Okay. What about Bob? That was one of those movies. Yeah.
You know what I ended up doing this morning? So my stepdaughter's dumbass ex-boyfriend, ex whatever, he's not the dummy. His cousin who borrowed my jet ski, this is the issue with having jet skis. Everyone wants to ride them, and a lot of people don't know how to steer them, how to ride them, and he ran it into a dock. So there's a
I think I
hole.
remember that. I think I remember that.
There's a hole in the front of the jet skis. So I'm on the phone. I'm emailing. I'm getting quotes to get this fiberglass and gel coat repaired, and it's probably okay. At first, I thought it was maybe 6 inches across. That's how big the hole, like the area that needs to be fixed.
Okay.
And I sent pictures to the guy, and the guy comes back and says, yeah, it looks like about 22 or 23 hours of labor. And, like these guys have like a crazy rate. So I asked him, what is the total cost on that? And he says, it's probably going to be around $23 to $2,500. I'm like, this is a 2003 Polaris jet ski. Like, it's not worth that much.
Good God.
So then I'm like, and I'm like, really, to make this viable, like it's got to be under 1,500 or, So I sent him that email, and then of course I go on YouTube and I start researching fiberglass gel coat repair, and I'm like, screw it, do it myself. So I got the stuff and I did first the fiberglass repair on the jet ski this morning, which actually went pretty well.
It didn't take you 23 hours?
It did not take me. It took me about an hour. And the great thing is, like, while I'm watching this stuff, all I'm thinking to myself is, I have that tool. I have that tool. I have those tools. Because it's all like sandpaper, air tools, grinders. I'm like, I have every single tool that they're showing in the video on how to do this. So, yeah, got the grinder out, just ground down the gel coat, ground off the gel coat, ground down the fiberglass, sanded it with all the sandpaper that I have. Yeah, tomorrow I'll do the gel coat, and maybe it won't look like shit. So we'll see. As long as it doesn't leak, I'll be, yeah. So yeah, I thought that was an interesting adventure into something non-knife related, but yeah. Now, cool. And I kind of like, well, it'd be kind of cool to learn how to fiberglass something. So now I know how to do it.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Cheap bastard.
I am not spending that much money on those.
I don't blame you, man. That's ridiculous. It's kind of funny though that when somebody gives you a price that knocks you back a little bit, right? And then, but I always try to remember too, like when we give a price.
Yes. Oh, totally.
You know what I mean? It's like
totally.
I get it, but fuck you. No, I'm not doing it. Not doing it.
Yeah, but what we do, almost, okay, I'm gonna like puff up our chests here as knife makers. Well, people can't do what we do. They don't have forges. They don't like a guy that wants to buy a knife is not, does not have these tools at home. Right. Whereas a grinder and sandpaper and a scraper. Yeah, most people have those tools at home.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, but I,
I just
I had my gardener like wanted to quote me like cutting some branches off a tree and wanted to put in bark. Yeah, wanted to put in bark in my yard, and he wanted to charge me like $700. It's like, are you insane?
you fired him, huh?
I did fire him. Now I'm the pool guy, the landscaper, the jet ski repair guy.
He's about to be the roof guy too.
No, but thankfully, I don't think our roof needs repair. But
All right, good. Well, that's cool.
oh,
I had an interesting thing happen, which is it's not uncomfortable, but it's definitely not anything I ever thought would happen to me personally. Was I got a message last week, and two parts to this. Bob Gore sent a package to you, I guess, but it had it was like had some stuff in it, and he mentioned it was my birthday was just a couple weeks ago or a month, whatever, wherever the hell we are. But it had this crock that was
oh, I haven't put the picture up yet. I'll
I
post
haven't
it.
either. I haven't either yet. We'll have to do that. But it's like this crock. I mean, the crock. They have this like a reel that's going around where this dude has a pair of Crocs on, and he's like got zippers, and he's pulling like an EDC thing. He's got like everything under the sun inside of this crock, right? So Bob makes this thing, puts it on a what the hell would you call that little
Lay.
a lay, yeah, and it's like an actual crock, it's like a kid's crock, and he put all this shit on it, and he calls it the Swiss Army Crocked Almost Real Mexican Neck Knife. Happy birthday, Jerid.
I got to send you the picture, and you got to do the post on that.
I will. Yeah. It's great. I have one, so I told him I'm hanging it up in my shop. And I picked a spot for it. It's gonna stay there forever. I love it, dude. It's super cool. Thank you. But on there, it has that freaking picture of me with the nice Crocs and
The sticker, yeah.
the sticker, yeah. And but a listener of ours sent me a message and shows the picture, and he's like, "So I'm at the Sydney knife show."
You mean
Um,
Sydney, Australia?
yeah, I'm at the Sydney knife show, and look what I come across. It's my mug with the nice Crocs thing on there. I guess he's from New Zealand too, but yeah, and I'm like, what a fucking trip, dude! Like, what are like? There's never in my life would I imagine that a sticker of me would be circulating across the world over in Australia,
Who
especially me.
who was the guy? Whose table was
I
it on?
can't remember. I'll fucking lose track of what I'm trying to do right now. But I'll when you're talking blabbering about something not important, I'll look and I'll give it. But yeah,
Oh,
and it was just blew my mind. I was like, so yeah, there's a sticker of me and had circulating around there. I guess the sausage man had brought some back with him.
okay.
So, but still cool nonetheless, and kind of just like it was weird. Like I don't know how to explain that, but I thought I'd share that. I think that's it's pretty cool.
Jerid, Mr. Worldwide.
Apparently, yeah. Apparently, I'm the size of the world too because I tried to. Um, I've been I've always ran throughout my life, especially over the last like 15 or so
Because you've
years.
been chased a lot.
That too, but I started actually just running for my own enjoyment, which is sounds weird to say, but um, so I started trying to start run 6-8 months ago, but I'm old, out of shape. I started running again. I got up to like about 9 to 12 miles a week, doing a couple 3 miles runs in the morning, and but I wasn't stretching and doing some things, so I ended up pulling a hamstring one time, and then I was out for like 3 weeks, a month. Then I went back at it again. I think the last time I started was in January, and I ended up pulling a hamstring again. So I've been doing nothing, just getting fatter as the days go on. So my wife and I started walking again. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to condition myself to just keep moving and start slow. So it was last Wednesday. Lynn didn't get up for our walk, and we walk at like for anyway between 4:45 and 5:15 in the morning.
It's still
So we're the
dark.
yeah, we're the weirdos walking our dogs out while you're going to work. Like, we get a lot of funny looks, right? So I make sure I don't have a hood on when we do that, or a beanie because I don't want to get shot. Um, but so I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do it. So I got all pumped up and I go out and I run. I did a mile, slow pace, like 11, 12-minute mile. Feeling great. I get back, I'm all pumped up, and the next morning I wake up and my fucking knee, dude, just blew up, swells up. So I've been down. I don't know, down for the count, but it's like really weird. I've never had this type of knee pain, but I'm hurt.
Well, get better.
I'm hurt. The odd thing is though, and I'm only saying this because it only hurts when I'm sitting down, like at work in my chair, for my knee being bent. So maybe there's a doctor that listens and wants knife maker slash doctor wants to talk about my medial knee discomfort. Yeah, but it's weird. It hurts like shit. So I don't know how I transitioned to that, but I just did. So there you go.
Yeah, you need to go to a doctor and
Fuck
find out
that.
what's going on.
We don't go to doctors. I'm just gonna bust out my Swiss Army Croc, almost real Mexican neck knife and do surgery on that thing. I got all the tools now. So
Oh,
yeah.
do that.
What else? What do you? Oh, so you did the straightening hammer?
I did. Made some straightening hammers, sold a few. Yeah, I did a video on how to make them. Yeah, it was good. Oh, and I have
That's a
I,
short video.
it is a short video
It
because
was a short video.
yeah, they're not hard to make.
I am surprised. I figured there was kind of more to it, but
Well, I mean, there can be more to it. I think if you have to, um,
again, guys, you have all the tools to make this very simple.
right, exactly.
So
That's what I was about to say is
yeah,
because if you start with just a hammer and you want to make a straightening hammer, then you have to um, take the temper out of the hammer. You have to heat it up and soften it so you can drill into it, so you can put the bearing into it, and then some people braze the bearing into it, which I personally think is overkill. You can just peen it in, which is what I did. And also, in fact, honestly, I didn't even have to peen it into the hammers because I used a ball nose end mill, which was a 1/4 inch ball nose. So the bottom of the hole is perfectly round. So when I tapped the bearing in, it seats perfectly in that, in the well that the hole that the ball nose end mill put in it. So I they're perfect. They work perfectly and they're nice and centered. And then I went and next month I'm going to do that second video on the new laser. Um, I love this. I have the conveyor attachment, and with that thing, because it will take a picture of what's under the laser, and then you position your image, and then you could just start putting the whatever those things are. So I was just putting hammers on the conveyor in whatever orientation I wanted, and it would track it, put my maker's mark on it, and just automate the process. So I didn't have to like line it up every time. That is the best feature of that F1 Ultra on the conveyor is that feature. Um, if you like, I did business cards on it. amazing because you can just slap business. You can just keep throwing business cards on the conveyor in any orientation you want, and the conveyor just moves and just lasers them.
Boring.
It's cool. If you
Boring. Your badass laser does everything for you. No, that's super cool, dude. Like
like,
I saw some video of it happening. Like they were doing like these little charms, and they were just randomly all on the thing, and it was just like
yeah. So I'll do that video on the attachments next month, but very, very cool. Um, yeah, and applicable. I've been a little gun shy on putting a knife. Like I was gonna do it with these 3 knives, but they kind of warn you that it's not guaranteed to, like, it can be off a little bit, and a little bit is really noticeable on a knife on a maker's mark.
yeah, I'm not. Yeah,
So I'm not doing that. The last thing I want is to finish a knife and then like it puts like my maker's mark like between the bevel and the or puts it on the handle or something. Actually, that wouldn't be that bad, but
no, I would start it on the blade and then go up the handle front. Like,
right, ruin both of them. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. But
that's crazy.
yeah,
Well, that's cool, man. I thought that was a cool little video and a interesting process to show.
yeah. I'm gonna be using that thing tomorrow on that dagger.
Nice.
But if you want to get yourself an actual forging hammer, you need to go to Two Bastards, Texas Smithy and Supplies. Frank and Nita got you covered on anything hammer related, anything for forging, whether it's cross peen, straight peen, you name it. Get yourself a fat peen over at Two Bastards.
Ain't it grand to have a fat peen in your hand?
Oh, I thought you were going
Dude,
to go for a second.
oh, come on, man. I'm never gonna let our boy down. That fat peen is on the scene every time we get in
Fat
there.
peen is on the scene. And of course, they have the Vaquero, which is the hammer exclusively for Maritime Knife Supply.
That's right. You
So,
can get all kinds of stuff over there at Maritime too. Our boy Lawrence stocks it up. He's got, I don't know, you're gonna hopefully talk him into carrying some even more exotic drill type things for you folder guys now, since that's weird. You're a folder guy now.
I know.
That's pretty cool. But he's got drill bits, hammers, abrasives, heat treating ovens, grinders, handle material, steel. He'll cut your steel up, pre-cut it for all your Damascus needs if you're not going to see the Baker boys.
He
He's
has
got it
Baker
all.
Forge. He has Baker Forge steel as well.
He's got gator piss. He's got it all. There's nothing that guy has. And if he doesn't have it currently, send him a message and he will do his damnness and more than likely end up finding what you need and getting you all squared away. So make sure you go check out Maritime Knife Supply and tell them the boys at Triple T sent you.
I was just on there today looking for 1/8-inch carbon fiber. Because everything I have, pretty much all of the scales I have are meant for fixed blades, which means they're all pretty much thicker. So folders, I need 1/8-inch stock. So gotta go get some, and I'll probably get it from Maritime.
That's where I would go. That's where I would go. They also just had the Great Lakes Custom Knife Show last weekend. I finally saw some pictures come through, and I thought it was really cool, dude. Our buddy Malcolm over at Stewart Handmade Knives, the young kid
Oh yeah,
um,
yeah, yeah.
that we featured on Maker Spotlight, had his own table.
That's awesome.
And he posted a picture there, so I shared it to the Triple T story and shouted him out, dude. Just super proud of that kid, man. He's killing it. Really nice stuff on the table, and I just respect the ambition and the hustle and the courage to get out there and put all your stuff out at your first show and get after it, especially at that young age. It's inspiring to us all. So good for you, Malcolm. Love this stuff. Love
Oh,
what
that's
you're doing,
awesome.
kid.
Yeah, I was actually that's one of the things I was chatting with Lawrence about is maybe going to that show next year, and he's trying to convince me to make a pit stop in Nova Scotia. So we'll see if we can make that happen.
Well, if you go, I go. So you hope you have two beds there, homie. No,
Uh,
I would go to Canada.
yeah,
It's a mystical place. It doesn't really exist until you're there, right?
yeah, no, it exists.
No, you're here. You're not there.
Well, that's a good transition to Maker Spotlight because my maker this week is a Canadian.
Oh, way to think outside the box there, buddy. We
my
do
bo-
have American makers, okay, that you can feature every now and again, Dennis. They're
my
not all
box is not very
Canadian.
big, didn't I tell you? I have to think
Yeah.
outside the box.
I gotta leave that alone. I gotta leave that alone.
My maker this week is Griffiths. That's a hard one to say. Griffiths handmade knives, not Grimace. Griffiths handmade knives, and there's underscores between those. Um, it's on my in there. He's got 1,043 followers, and what really caught me was his latest post, which has this. I don't know if it's like a dragon or some kind of um, thing on the end of the knife, which I thought was really cool. So it's a Damascus knife, a handle, and then it's got this kind of, I don't know. I'm saying it's a dragon, but maybe I haven't read the actual post of what it's supposed to be. Um, but it looks really cool. No, it is a dragon. Yeah. Fat carbon gold is centers. Yeah. So I thought it
It's
looked
really
pretty
cool.
cool. Yeah.
It does. It definitely looks really cool.
Yeah. And it's got a mosaic pin as the dragon's eye. So yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, I see that.
So yeah, go check him
Hey,
out. And
I'm Griff,
he,
aka Suburban Spark Slinger.
I like that Suburban Spark Slinger. I might have to
Yeah, he's a
steal that.
proud Welshman, an equally proud Canadian. Oh, there it is.
So he's a Canadian resident. He's not actually a Canadian.
All
So
right, you're off the hook. Look at you, worldwide, worldwide.
who
Yeah,
do
I
you got
like
this
this
week?
stuff. I like this stuff. I have. Let me get my shit together here. Do do do. I have my buddy Ryan DeLong from Red Dot Knives. Um, Ryan was one of the first makers that I connected with via the Instagram knife maker. I want to say dating circle because that's how I kind of equate every time I would go, "Hi, my name is Jerid. I really like what you're doing. I'm a new knife maker. Will you please be my friend?" Like, and I'm sure, I hope it didn't come off that way. And if you're sending us a message, it doesn't come off like that. But I'm just supremely insecure. That's kind of how I feel because it's not natural to kind of put myself out there, I should say. But yeah, he makes these EDCs, and he's just been locked in with this style. Little guys. He was super helpful when I first started. Really good maker, really into the EDC community. Um, just badass, like, so pocket drops are something in the EDC community where they'll take pictures of whatever they have on their pocket, and handkerchiefs and chains and knuckle dusters and all this stuff. But he has really good pictures, and a good little Facebook group that I'm a part of as well. So I haven't talked to him in a while, and but I always am following. So I just wanted to give him a shout out, and he's got 709 followers. So I think we should lift that up there and go check out Ryan over at Red Dot Knives. Good dude, good stuff, and a good follow. So
Yeah, I like his stuff. I'm already a
yep,
follower. Yeah, Red Dot Knives and Griffiths underscore handmade underscore knives are our maker spotlight for this week.
that's right. Go show him some love.
Yeah. Yeah, I just designed a new knife, a new 7-inch chef knife that I'm anxious to make one out of. I just don't have any. I want to make a stainless version of it, but I don't have any stainless stock right now. So I think I'm going to get some from Mr. Lawrence Lake while I get place my order. Oh, you
Nice.
know what? I don't know if you caught Salem's recent post about the keyhole he's doing. Have you seen that?
I have not.
Oh, man, it's so cool. There's, uh, the things to aspire to. Not only is he doing a keyhole, but it's like this. It's like this bent kind of arrow, and
Oh, I see it.
oh, it's just, and that blade is going to be some crazy Damascus. I haven't. I might have missed a few posts if he did post what the Damascus was, but
That's a thick ass piece. He's about to
y-
get in the keyhole in.
yeah, well, he hasn't ground any of that bolster portion yet, but he's got the pantograph and he's got all the tooling to make the handle to fit into that thing. But
He's
it
a
makes me
beast.
think like the keyhole is still on my list to do. So
Oh, you haven't done one, huh?
yeah, never done
Yeah.
one. So
Yeah, that thing's amazing.
yeah, love to do it. And just little things like I get this like I'll go through Instagram and especially like the more advanced makers. Like I saw Jordan Lamoth, one of his blades, and just like there's a like there's a whatever, a guard and then a bolster. And I think it was a chef knife, so it was a bolster. But behind the bolster was like this little spacer. He could have made the spacer flat, but he made the spacer like an arc, which means now the handle has to match that arc. And it's just like so subtle. When I see little things like that, I'm like, that's so cool. Why didn't I think of that?
Yeah, that's the best. That's the
I've said
best
that.
when you get that.
Why didn't I think of that a few times this week looking at knives? So, but all right, man. That's all I got. You got anything else this week?
Mm, no, I did check out the apocalyptic challenge Facebook group, and I started to see some pictures roll in of people with their not trying to get Dairy Queen posting their stuff. So I thought that was cool. I'm excited to see what you guys are all getting into and what's happening. A
I
lot of
actually
5160. A
I
lot of
actually
51.
have my first entry picture sent. So someone's already done.
Oh wow.
Yeah. They like went to
Overachiever.
they really went to town.
Wow.
Um so yeah, it's pretty nice. So yeah, you guys better get busy.
Yeah. That's cool. What I am gonna do though is finish up that Intrepid 2.0 with the fat carbon stuff, and when I do finish it out, I am definitely going to. I'm probably going to use the Pelican oil
Oh yeah.
and get my because I got a bottle of that, and I think that carbon fiber, fat carbon, is going to shine up really nice with some Pelican paste there. So if you're in the market for some premium wax, make sure you go check out our buddy Travis Haynes at pelicanpaste.com and Pelican Paste on Instagram. You can get yourself some hard wax, soft wax, Pelican oil, hand solve, and the new gritty soap, which I love. So uh, go check that out and put an order in. And when you do, use the discount code Triple T10 for 10% off.
My only other topic today is just a subtle little drop about this week's Triple T. And Jared's smiling and laughing. Uh, this weekend, I went to my buddy Dan's house, and Dan was the best man at my wedding. And as a wedding present, 5 years ago, I made Dan a, I'm using air quotes, knife way back in my early days. as kind of a, thanks for being my wedding gift. And so I'm going to critique this blade on this week's Triple T and show you guys my first Damascus. Okay, this is the number of firsts I did in this blade. First Damascus, first hidden tang, first guard, first pommel, because it was a through tang. And the first time I had used like a stabilized burl handle material.
Had you done a fuller before?
No, and I'd never done a fuller because it has a fuller, kind of. So, my wife she's been bugging me for months to show people this knife. It's horrible. Like, I look at it and I cringe. So you guys are going to get a good laugh. We're going to talk about what's wrong with this blade, how I did it, what kind of tools I was using. But this is before the YouTube channel. This is before I had a press. I made this Damascus by hand. So you guys want to tune into this week's video. I think it'll be, you guys will get a good chuckle over one of my early blades.
Or you can go to Echo Blades on Instagram and check out the post I just made right now. No. Echo_Blades on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, I think.
Did you really?
No, I wouldn't do that.
I'm like, don't you scoop my video.
You deserve it with all the shit you scoop from over here, buddy. Mr. fucking Bright Idea. Tag along Tyrell in there. It is an absolute freaking beautiful piece. So awesome. Like when I was checking it out this week. I do have a video of it, but I wouldn't do that to you, buddy. It is so cool to see. Oh man, how do you turn this into something inspirational? The progression of any of us, right?
Of course.
And like Denis being Denis today, with the type of work that you put out, it was very inspiring to see that you started somewhere on the other end of the spectrum.
And I remember thinking this was like, thinking it was amazing when I was so proud of it when I finished that knife. And now I look at it, I'm like, I don't even want to look at it.
My favorite part about it is the swedge. The swedge is absolutely fan. You guys are in for a treat when he shows that on there. It is a thing of beauty, and it is a thick ass bitch. That thing's a tank.
It doesn't even need to be sharp. You could throw it at someone and give them a concussion.
Oh my god! You can actually order that steel from Maritime Knife Supply because it's just fully done. You got to special order it because it's like 1/2-inch steel. No, it's not. It's cool though, man. But I appreciate you sharing. I think it's a great. That'll go over really good because there's plenty to talk about, and I'll let you have at it.
Yeah, I'm scared to put that thumbnail up. People are going to think I've regressed 20 years.
I don't know, man. It just I almost threw my first knife away because I hate it so much. And I can't remember who I talked to, but somebody was like, "No, you don't ever do that. You keep that thing and you cherish it." And that thing's horrible. Like I'll bring it next weekend or whatever to show you. Like it's a thing of beauty. Yours is far better. So
well, I mean, it's not my first knife. It's a first of a bunch of things, but certainly not my first knife. But
okay, that sucks for not being your first. No.
You've seen my first knife, right?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
But all right, man. Well, I think we paid all the bills. Everything's good. We got checked all the boxes. I got a couple things here, but we'll hang over till next week and stay tuned for the Denis Tyrell exclusive Hidden Tang review.
I think Jerid's going to be definitely tuning in for this one.
I don't ever watch your shit anymore, but I'm going to watch that one.
Thanks for your support.
I watch everything and thumbs up it all.
All right.
Click rate, man.
Yeah.
Click rate.
All right, we're out.
Peace. This week's episode of Triple T, we're going to take a look at the world's shittiest knife. Brought to you by Tools, Tips, and Talk himself, Mr. Denis Tyrell.
Yeah, can you do the intro?
100% I will. But this is a wrap.